حيث يعرض قادة شباب من المنطقة العربية وخارجها وجهات نظرهم من خلال رسائل مدتها دقيقة واحدة حول ما يتطلعون إليه في عقد 2020. أبدأ مع السيدة ملاك أكيلي الرئيس التنفيذي لشركة جولدن وايت لتجارة الحبوب.
Today I stand before you not only as an Arab businesswoman trading oil and grains, but also as a humanity activist. In the decade of the 2020s, it's vital to believe that there will be no economic progress without the progress of humans and truly investing in them. That's why I implore you to embrace diversity and deny exclusion. In the 2020s, deep technology integration will become further ingrained in almost every industry, and the emergence of new technologies will impact and will become our new reality. And power will be in the hands of who owns the data. In such an event of a dynamic implementation triggering discussions, I look forward to creating an actionable path where all Arab countries harness the power of knowledge and realize that our true economic asset is technical and institutional knowledge. I cannot wait to collaborate and work collectively with visionary Arab youth and concerned policymakers, building shared vision of prosperity and knowledge to lead the trends of sustainability for solving our global urgent challenges and creating the global harmony. I always wonder, will the next tech unicorn of the coming decade be born in the Arab world? Let's work on that from now. Thank you.
Thank you, Malak. السيدة وفاء بن حسين مستشارة السياسة لدى Access Now.
What do I look forward to in the decade of the 2020s in the Arab region? It's not an easy question to answer if I just take a look at the world around us today. A grim, highly volatile reality. I am optimistic though. Why? Because I have faith that policy and decision makers in our region will succeed in coupling the ideas of climate change preparedness and competitiveness and openness. This means that the younger generation of today, a generation that is already clearly better informed about our changing world, will have to take the lead. They have the right to a clean future. Our region, geographically positioned in an area most impacted by climate change, will do well in working on climate stabilization seriously through sustainable energy policies. I also look forward to a freer flow of ideas, where people and everyone can be as they are. A free flow of ideas, creativity, and expression, free of the hindrances that come with judgment and the stifling of speech. Instead of talking about liberty, let's act liberty. But instead of relying on the next generation, why don't we start today, right here, right now? Because youth in MENA make up over 30% of the total population, policies in favor of youth are not only an investment in the future of tomorrow, but an investment in today. Thank you.
Thank you, وفاء. السيدة دونا ماريا فغالي مشرفة فنية وتصميم معماري Retrieving Beirut.
Hello, everyone. What to expect for the next decade is no different from what was the secret of thousands of civilizations, the crossroads of arts, culture, literature, and architecture in society. Today, more than ever, technology connects us and separates us at the same time. Our role as designers is to keep the physical as well as the digital aspects, the personal and the impersonal, to solidify cultural bonds while encouraging cultural differences. I would like to ask you the following. What is that square you met your friends at? That vault under which you had a great conversation? That monument where you celebrated a life milestone, or that object, poem, painting that inspired you and maybe revolted you? I ask you to keep that memory in mind and keep making the next ones. Us designers and artists will keep our humanity together. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna Maria. السيد شاكر خزعل مؤلف وصحفي شاب.
Well, now I know that I'm looking forward to becoming the next president of Palestine. Besides that, in the 2020s, I look forward to people swimming in the Mediterranean and our other seas, not to face their waves, to flee to safety and stability. In the 2020s, I look forward to children sleeping and playing on our shores, not taking their last breaths after having to live in injustice, instability, and conflict. In the 2020s, I look forward to celebrating more astronauts, more artists, more writers, more thinkers, more innovators, more Arabs leaving their footprints on the paths of history. In the 2020s, I look forward to an Arab world enabling its talents, its assets, its people. And most importantly, in the 2020s, I look forward to planting a tree in Jerusalem to remember my grandfather who lived in displacement, hoping one day to return, to tell him, here we are, remembering and building a future that he had to sacrifice for. Thank you.
Thank you شاكر. السيدة امتثال محمود، سفيرة نوايا الحسنة للمفوضية العليا لشؤون اللاجئين، شاعرة وناشطة.
Hi everyone. So, in the decade of the 2020s, I look forward to a new approach to conflict resolution because we're seeing for the first time in our world, especially in Sudan where I'm originally from, and even in the States, young people are finally rejecting the notion that we have to continue the wars that were started before we were even born. The reality is that when states and governments and people in power are unwilling to engage with risk, it's young people who do this, and often the only thing they have to protect themselves is their own bodies. What I'm seeing shift now and what I'm hoping to see in the future is that young people will no longer have to throw themselves in the middle and be the buffer between change and the past. What I'm really excited about is a future where we no longer will have to engage with risk in that way, and where if a young person reaches out, 7 billion people will reach back. And it's no longer a question, but an instinct and the way that our world works moving forward. That's what I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmy. السيدة إديولا باشولاري، الأمين العام للجمعية العامة للشباب في ماليزيا.
Good morning, everyone, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen. As a youth leader, what do I expect for the young people to do in 2020s? I definitely want them to sit at the table. I want them to speak up their mind. I want them to be part of the decision-making process. I want them to be the people who will take and keep everyone accountable when it comes to everything that is being told or said on their behalf. So let's have them at the table. They are the most connected generation, the most skilled, innovative, entrepreneurs, educated ever. So let's have them in the table. Let them discuss. Let them monitor what you guys have done so far, because given that you're talking about a region that is still suffering of peace and democracy, I believe young people are the solution to all the problems. So let's hear them, be with them, and end of the day, give them that platform, because their voice, it does matter. It is now, it is today, and they are the leaders of today. I thank you.
Thank you, إديولا. السيد شادي قباطي، رئيس جمعية يال للطلاب العرب في جامعة يال.
صباح الخير. Your Excellencies, honorable delegates, I look forward to a decade where the economy becomes the central engine for all aspects of integration between Arab countries. Taking into account the European experience of integration, the GCC has to restructure its model and centralize the role of economics as a driving force for all aspects of integration, rather than politics, which has weakened its structure. The GCC should serve as a core group, allowing further economic integration and expansion of its membership, encouraging other member states, such as Jordan and Egypt, to join. Such a process should include helping other neighboring member states to meet the criteria of full accession, incrementally and at different speeds, even if that does not initially amount to freedom of movement of labor. Akin to the 1948 Marshall Plan in Europe, this vision has the reconstruction of war-torn and economically devastated bordering future members at its heart, and would pave the way for various development projects in Yemen, Iraq, and Syria, driven by members of the restructured GCC, which could serve as the first step towards helping to qualify them for accession. Given the disastrous outcomes of war in the three aforementioned states, perhaps referring to my home country, Yemen, where the GCC is already on ground, could help with clarifying this vision. With mutual incentives for regional and international stakeholders to invest in rebuilding Yemen, and with the pre-war limitations of its infrastructure, reconstruction should not be viewed as an attempt to rebuild what once existed, but rather an effort to build back better. To build up a nation that's more equitable, a government that's less corrupt, and an economy that prioritizes stability, health, employment, and wellness for its citizens will inevitably move Yemen and other Arab countries closer to becoming integral members of a thriving union. Thank you.
Thank you, Shady.